G'day, I'm Troy, and this is the Comic Book Movie Collector's Guide, the show about collecting all things superhero cinema. And today we're going to take a gander at Sinister Squad on DVD, and we're going to try and answer the question, is this something special, or is this just plain sinister? Oof, I don't know. What do you say we find out? Sinister Squad is a live-action superhero straight-to-DVD movie with a runtime of 90 minutes. The film was released on the 17th of May 2016 on DVD with no Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. It was written, directed and edited by Jeremy M Inman, and the film was produced and distributed by the Asylum, and is classified as one of their mockbusters, which is just a rip-off version of a popular movie, and in this case is a rip-off of DC's Suicide Squad. Okay, if we look at the case now, it's not too bad. I mean, it surprises me with these sort of rip-off ones how much effort they kind of put into this. They put in more effort than some of the more legit versions, if you ask me. And well, it's definitely sucked me into want to check it out anyway. The spine, yeah, look, it's okay. It's just the logo, nothing too special. But the back, look at that, that's not a bad shot. It kind of reminds me of those disaster movies, or like if you've ever seen the back of a Sharknado video, it's kind of like that, with everything going on. It's actually probably one of the best shots there. Now, if we look at the disc, hey, coloured disc, and it's just the cover, obviously, but at least they went to that effort, and I've got to give them points for that. So overall, look, for what it is, it kind of sucks you into thinking that this is a lot better than it actually is, which we'll get into that later on. Anyway, but for this, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, the plot of this movie has a violent supernatural cult known as Death's Messengers start to rain terror on Earth, and a team of malevolent storybook villains is coerced into joining Alice and the other members of the Looking Glass to stop Death from obtaining a human body and using it to take over Earth.
So if you open your world domination pamphlets to page 3, I will show you.
Now, this movie is a follow-on from the Avengers Grimm movies, which they do make a small reference to, but you don't need to watch them to kind of get up to date with what's going on in the story, as it's pretty much a standalone movie, but I mean, it wouldn't hurt if you were that interested to watch the others. Now, the plot is good, like the idea is good, but the script is average at best, with a lot of, shall we say, half-assed tropes, telegraphed story arcs, plot holes the size of the Grand Canyon, and some stale banter between characters, which is hard to watch at times. But the actors, they try and do the best they can with what they have, and I only mean they try. It doesn't mean they succeeded.
Yeah, you know, they did their best.
Clearly, this is just a rip-off pumped out quickly to cash in on the Suicide Squad's coattails, and no one is winning any Oscars here, I'll tell you that. So for this mediocre attempt at a movie, I'm going to give this 5 out of 30. Now, there are no direct comic book references here, even though it's a Suicide Squad rip-off, but it does use fairy tale villains for the characters, but only loosely, as they needed to fit the roles of the corresponding Suicide Squad members. Now, it's not hard to see who's a copy of who, and I have a list up here that I've compiled of who I think matches who, and I think I'm pretty close to the money here. But this movie doesn't have all of the characters that the Suicide Squad did, but it does cover the main ones, as you can see.
Same, but different.
Now, for the actors, I have a list here. I'll put that up there now. And if you recognize anyone on this list, you must watch a lot of Z-grade movies, as there is no one here of any note. Now, in saying that, some people were better than others, but for me, Johnny Ray Diaz as Stiltskin was not bad, except for the sound effects. I mean, oh God, every time he did a facial expression or something, it kind of did a boing or a bang. It made him out like a cartoon character.
You did look like an idiot.
Now, Nick Principal as Death, he was great, actually. He had some real personality up on screen. as his character. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, yeah, kind of had everyone else trying way too hard or not trying at all. But the worst was probably Lindsay Sawyer as Goldie. Her performance was so stiff and wooden that it was pretty clear that she was there to be, shall we say, eye candy, and not really there for her acting ability, which makes it hard to watch at times. Okay, yeah, I know, like the rest of the movie was easy to watch.
Because this is the worst thing I have ever seen.
So anyway, for this, I'm going to give this a score of 6 out of 20. So look, this has no real special features, which is no surprise, but it does have 3 trailers from other movies by the Asylum, which are Zombies, I said that right, Zombies, World War Dead and Road Wars, which look just as bad as this movie, so nothing to keep your eye out for there. Now, seeing that is it, and there's nothing really special about any features on this, look, I'm going to at least just give this a 1 out of 10. Now, the critic score came in at, yeah, no surprise, 0%, and the audience score was, 17%. There it is. Probably one of the worst or lowest scores we've seen here so far in my reviews. Honestly, from the critics to the audiences, there was a pretty concise bagging of this movie right across the board. It was pretty bad. Some people were just plain nasty. Eesh. Anyway, look, if we round up what we got, we're going to get the generous score of 2 out of 10. Well, what can I say about this movie? Okay, it was watchable in only the just sense of the word. There were moments there where it was okay, but then there were just so many things that would make you realize how bad this movie was, with a combination of like bad edits, not so great camera work, some cheap looking sets, some very wooden acting, and some average ass dialogue, which was delivered either over the top or deadpan. It felt like it was like a high school kids got together, made a movie in their spare time, and somehow got it released on DVD.
Jeez, talk about amateur hour.
So look, if you love some of your Z-grade schlocky movies, then this is right up your alley. But if you're looking for the next Marvel movie, then you have taken a wrong turn and need to turn around and head back right now. I won't be watching this again, but in a weird, curious, self-deprecating way, I kind of want to watch the Avengers Grim movies to see a little bit of the backstory of this movie. Maybe sometime in the future, but definitely not anytime soon. Anyway, look, I'm going to give this a score of, and this is generous mind you, 5 out of 20. First off is collectability, and if we look at the collector scale, I would say this would be for your completest collector, and that is it. This shit is Z-grade stuff at its best, and it has nothing of value for any other collector out there. I'm serious. Now, as far as availability goes, this one is probably on your average side of things. It is not that old, and you can still have no trouble finding copies out there at your usual retail outlets or your second-hand markets like eBay. As far as your average price goes, you are looking at somewhere between about $15 to $35 for DVD. So all I can say is if you pay more than $15 for this, that is on you, because I have warned you, okay? Okay? And of course, there is nothing for Blu-ray or 4K HD as of this video. Now, for the final score, we get a grand total of 26 out of 100. Ooh, shit, that's bad. There it was, the 1-1 sound. Yeah, not good at all, but let's face it, no surprises there. So, look, we asked the question, is this something special, or is this just plain sinister? Oh my God, this was just plain sinister. It was a copycat movie that made the not so good movie it was ripping off look like a Martin Scorsese film.
The original is a masterpiece.
So, if you like this video, I have some more reviews for you right there. Or maybe you want to see some of my collection updates. Hey, I got you covered too. Why don't you click that one there? And of course, don't forget to do the most important thing. Throw me a bat like, And don't forget to hit that subscription button on the way out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.